The Trump administration has sidestepped Congress yet again to basically give Israel another massive arms deal. And this is the third time he's doing it, by the way. So meanwhile, Israel continues to kill Palestinian civilians in the Gaza Strip, which I'm sure you have a lot to say about, Cenk.
Yeah, so what I want to show you guys here in this story is, number one, how much money we're giving. And it doesn't appear that any of this has congressional authorization. So if that's true, it's just a robbery. And then we want to talk about what are they doing with that money? And that is going to make your stomach turn. All right, Anna.
So how much money are we talking about here? Because remember, we've already, since October 7th, given Israel tens of billions of dollars. Well, the State Department announced on Friday that it was planning to send Israel more than $6.5 billion worth of weapons aid that included Apache attack helicopters and combat land vehicles, bypassing a congressional review process. Conveniently, they made this announcement after 5 p.m. last Friday, surely hoping that it would fly under the radar. But people like us pay close attention to stories like this. Now, the weapons packages included in the deal had been under review actually for months by the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Now, they were, I guess, a little bit concerned about continuing to arm Israel given the atrocities and genocide it has carried out. The State Department is supposed to wait for approval from the top two members on each of those committees before announcing the aid, and that's according to what the New York Times reported. But the department, led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, said, screw that, and they went forward with announcing the deal anyway. Now, Representative Gregory Meeks, the top Democrat on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, had reportedly sent questions to the State Department regarding the sale that were never even answered, because why bother? If Israel wants something, we have to give it to them. And now he's calling out the Trump administration, saying in a statement last Friday, just 1 hour before doing so, the Trump administration informed me it would disregard congressional oversight and years of standing practice and immediately notify over $6 billion in arms sales. This is yet another repudiation by Donald Trump of Congress's constitutional oversight role. Now, Congressman Meeks, I'm sure you were also very upset that President Joe Biden did the same thing over and over again during his term. I'm sure you released a statement about that, right? Oh wait, you didn't. So how about we don't make this a partisan issue and call a spade? Our government is occupied by Israel, it's controlled by Israel, and both parties cower to Israel's demands. That's the reality of the situation. Go ahead.
So Edward Wong wrote this article for New York Times. It was really good, and so I love, I take on legacy media all the time, but I can't wait to give them credit whenever it's due. In fact, I wish that all the reporting was great and objective. Unfortunately, it's a very rare thing that we show you guys here. But even in this story, they can never explain, wait, when did Congress vote on any of this? So I can tell you what they have voted on. So the memorandum of understanding that Obama signed was $3.8 billion a year, and that gets automatically put into the budget. And if you dare to try to take it out of the budget, you'll be called an anti-Semite. $19 million will be spent against you, like against Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush, specifically from the Israeli lobby, and you will be eliminated from American politics. But at least it's in the budget, and they're voting on it, right? Year by year, right? But the memorandum of understanding is America saying, we promise Israel, no matter what you do, we will always give you $4 billion a year. And Republicans and Democrats in Washington love it. The country hates it, but they don't care what we think. So that gets a vote. The $21.7 billion that Biden gift wrapped for them to keep going on the genocide. He's like, you're doing a terrific job on slaughtering innocent Palestinian children. We want to give you $21.7 billion more. That was voted on. And Republicans and Democrats were like, attaboy, kill more children. That's our sick, disgusting Congress that actually at least voted on it and followed along. Now, the last three, the $8 billion, by the way, proposed by Joe Biden, concluded by Donald Trump. I don't know where they voted on that. Nobody knows if they voted on that. Then Trump did another $4 billion. No one can identify if it was ever voted on. And now this $6.5 billion, no votes. And there was an oblique reference in this article about, well, they do get 3.8 billion a year. I did the math. First of all, they've been getting it all this time. Second of all, 3.8 doesn't equal 8, 4, and 6.5. That's 18.5 billion that wasn't voted on. Where the hell did that come from? I think what's happening, guys, is that Israel realizes they got their caught through the Epstein files and all the things that are happening now, and the alliance of the right and the left against Israel's funding. And what they're telling Trump is loot the place. Forget all the rules. Give me the money now, now. They were looking for a 20-year memorandum of understanding, and they haven't let that go yet. They say, well, maybe we'll take it down to 10 years where you have to guarantee us, you owe us money, they say, okay, over and over again. But now this money, I think they're just going, screw Congress, screw the law, screw the Constitution, just give me the money, just give it, give it. And that's what's happening. So this is insanity, this is a robbery. Israel is totally and utterly robbing us, but not following any of the rules. And almost all of our media and all of our politicians bow their heads.
You're right, and in fact, to your point about the media, every time a story like this gets reported, they refer to it as an arms sale and kind of make it seem as though, oh no, Israel is buying our weapons. They usually try to hide the fact that no, we are taking out debt to provide the money to Israel so they can buy weapons.
They're not buying anything.
Okay, they're not buying anything
give
with
it
their
to
own
them.
money. Okay, so and by the way, according to an analysis that was done by Brown's Cost of War Project, you're right, Cenk, the US funneled $21.7 billion worth of military aid to Israel between October 7th, 2023 and September of 2025. And as they explain, let's go to graphic 5. In the case of Israel, most arms sales are eventually paid for by US aid.
In fact, I've never seen Israel pay for anything from America. So it's insane. But if you ask a question, all of media will come down on you like a house of cards and call you an anti-Semite. I'm just asking the most basic question of all time. Did Congress vote on it? Is anyone allowed to ask that question? Or do we have to submit to our own robbery?
No, we have to submit to our own robbery. Otherwise, you're an anti-Semite, of course. Now, in the meantime, I just want to make it very clear that Israel has continued its mass slaughter campaign in the Gaza Strip. So the IDF has continued slaughtering Palestinians. This certainly happened over the weekend. We've got a video on that. Let's take a look.
This is what a ceasefire looks like here. An Israeli strike rings out in Gaza City, hitting civilian homes, reducing this living room to rubble and killing 3 children sleeping inside.
We woke up at 4 a.m. to a tragedy. We found my 3 little nieces in the street. They say ceasefire, but what did these children do?
Strikes also raining down further south in Khan Yunis. A section of this tent camp wiped out. A father and his 7 children among the dead.
How would this plastic protect people? They died, and people were wounded with shrapnel 200 meters away.
Sadly, I think that's the point. And in total, hospitals in Gaza said Israeli strikes killed at least 32 Palestinians on Saturday alone. That included at least 6 children, approximately 10 women, and an elderly man.
So they take our money and they use it for terrorism.
Yep.
So they are constantly killing innocent civilians in Gaza. They've killed over 500 since the ceasefire, an average of at least 5 a day, but today it was 32. They keep massacring women and children over and over and over again, and they keep destroying every building that is in their area. Why? Because they're gonna rebuild it into Israeli condos. And so these are, look, IDF is the sickest terrorist organization in the world. It has a worse civilian kill ratio of any group, way worse than Hamas. 83% of the people they kill are civilians. They're obviously doing it on purpose. I mean, we say Hamas is doing it on purpose because their civilian kill ratio is 67%. And IDF's like, hold my beer. I'm gonna murder people at a greater rate as civilians than any terrorist group in the world. So now, one last piece of the puzzle. On top of all the money we've given them through congressional votes, non-congressional votes, we've also spent tons of money bombing countries on their behalf. And since October 7th, there's another estimate saying we spent over $10 billion on the weapons we used to bomb Iran, Syria, and all of Israel's enemies in just the last 3 years. And I was kind of amazed that I went on Tucker Carlson's show, and even a lot of his audience didn't know that even before October 7th, we'd given Israel $300 billion in inflation-adjusted dollars. Now it's up to about $350 billion. And that the global war on terror is actually the global war on Israel's enemies, and we spent $8 trillion on that. So this is nothing but a robbery. And so if they keep telling us, oh, no, America's getting so much more out of giving us money than we are. Okay, great. Then why don't you give us the money back and you'll get all the benefits? So you see all of their talking points are obvious, ridiculous nonsense. They don't stand up to a single shred of scrutiny. Oh, we're helping America by taking your money. Great, then we'll help Israel by taking your money. Oh, don't you dare, don't you dare. Give me more money, give me more money. That's what Israel says every day, and they funnel our billions of dollars of our taxpayer money, and we have to pay interest on that for the rest of our lives, so that beloved Israel can have more money to massacre more children. Those are stone cold facts. That's
right, that's right. One footnote, I don't even think this really matters, but apparently, even though the Trump administration ignored the formal committee review process for the latest $6.5 billion sale, the State Department still theoretically has to send the deal to Congress for formal approval, which, I mean, the lawmakers are just gonna let it go. Are we gonna pretend like they're gonna raise objections to this and prevent the money from going out?
Well, so look, we have operationconsequences.com. You could say, hey, I'm skeptical it'll work. Of course, we have very little power. They have almost all the power, right? So, but what is it? We have two pledges. If they take money from the Israeli lobby, never vote for them again. And if they give Israel one more dollar, that means they're saying, I work for Israel, I don't work for you. You stupid idiots, you voted for me. I betrayed you and I gave all your money to Israel, right? So we're asking you to make a pledge on operationconsequences.com to never vote for anyone who gives a single dollar more to Israel. So look, you could do any pledges you like, anywhere you like, but unless you vote these guys out, they're gonna rob us till the end of time. If they work for Israel, they don't work for us. If you keep re-electing these incredibly corrupt incumbents in both parties, we will never change and we'll all have to bow our heads and be occupied by Israel the rest of our lives. If you don't know that your incumbent is not taking money from Israel, vote against them. Vote against almost all of them. And so what's gonna happen next is, Anna's right, Congress is gonna go in and they're gonna give Netanyahu a massage on top. They're gonna rob you of your money, both parties are, and they're gonna send it to Israel. So make sure you vote on every son of a bitch who does that. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.